Welcome back, everybody, to Summer Games Done Quick 2023. My name is Jay Hobbs, and I am joined by 4 fantastic runners from our upcoming Silly Block. We have Asuka424, we have TheFlyingMarlin, Iceplug, and Ritzblues. Thank you all so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
So, because Silly Block is very, quite large at this point, there's always a lot of runners in these blocks. We're taping this one a little bit ahead of time, so the nerves aren't quite hitting everybody just yet. But I'm curious, how does it feel to get into a silly block? Sometimes you're submitting your game as this is really silly, and I know this is going in there. Sometimes you're just like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be in that block necessarily. What was the case for all of you up here? We can start with Asuka.
For me, I openly entered or submitted just knowing that it was going to be in silly block because I have found a special group of people that we all have a common love of just these really weird games. So I was all for it.
Is that pretty much the case across the board, or is anybody a little bit surprised to see it in there? No. Everyone knew. You knew what you were getting into here. So why silly games? What draws, or is it just one-off individual games that you all liked out of this particular time around? We could start at this time with Ritz over here.
Yeah, I love bad games, and it's always fun to bring out some sort of obscure gems that people haven't seen before, but have this little charm or quirk to them that are just really fun. But they have to be playable, right?
Yeah. I like it's a distinction. This is not awful block. This is silly block. This is a little different. There could be some crossover, but it's not the same. So to get into some of the runs specifically, I'm going to start with you, Iceplug. You're running the Incredible Hulk. Tell us a bit about this game, this run. Why do you like it? Why do you run it?
The Incredible Hulk. Well, the reason I picked it up was because I usually do Flying Fist Friday, where I play a bunch of games where you basically punch and kick. Someone recommended the Incredible Hulk to me. I don't know why. They picked it up. I was hooked on it because of the music mostly, but the game itself is it's kind of bizarre, but. That's sort of where it came from there. I enjoyed the music, so I just kept playing it, and here we are.
So you heard that, folks. A lot of bangers in The Incredible Hulk. You got to be tuning in for that one for sure. And then let's go to Marlin. Why Pepsi Man? I know at this point it's kind of a GDQ meme because it's been in before, but why Pepsi?
So this was actually my first speed game. I had found out about it when a friend of mine had actually made a YouTube video kind of reviewing it. This was 7 or 8 years ago. And then I started speedrunning it incidentally right around the same time, down to the day that it was being run at SGDQ 2016. So, that coincidence kind of gave me the motivation to keep pursuing that. And yeah, much like The Incredible Hulk, it has no shortage of bangers, even though there are only 4 or 5 songs in the game. But yeah, if I had to describe it in a sentence, it's like Temple Run, but with less repetition and more Pepsi. So.
And more big red pasta trucks, right? Is it pasta?
Red pizza, and the logo is legally not representing any other major logos at all.
Of course not.
You'll have to tune in to see that.
Of course not. Now, Asuka, tell us a bit about your game. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to hold off on yours for a second. We're going to circle back to you.
Okay.
Ritz, why don't you tell us why Wayne's World? You just a big fan of the movie, or
No, it all started with a Google search for worst Super Nintendo games, and it just, again, I know you said not awful, but it's also silly. And it came up, and I tried it, and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty bad, but it's also pretty goofy. And mostly the enemies just were bizarre.
Yeah. Can you give us an example, or just even something you like about running it?
Oh, well, I like the fact that sometimes you die when you finish the levels. Oh, wait, something I'm supposed to like about it.
What?
Yeah, the glitches in the game are not helpful, but they're fun when they happen. So, yeah, just a bunch of goofy enemies that don't seem like they belong in Wayne's World.
Right. We had a lot of people cheering about Wayne's World back there. Now, it sounds like. All right, Oscar, we're going to circle back to you now. So you're running a game called Give Me Toilet Paper.
Yes.
That does not use what I would call a conventional controller.
I mean, it has a Joy-Con inside a roll of toilet paper.
Of course it does.
And this is actually the marathon roll that will be used.
The special roll.
It was under a lock and key, aka the plastic wrapping it came in. But it is designed to put the Joy-Con controller into the roll, and there's a few different ways to do it. To play the game, the way I'm going to play it is it'll be on the table, and I'll be rolling it back and forth. And as much of a silly game as it is, I honestly say, probably the most technical speedrun I do. And it's an absolute treat to play. And it's really fun. So if you have a Switch and a roll of toilet paper, check it out.
That's amazing.
I love it.
Now, sometimes people want to, say, "Oh, come speedrun my game." I absolutely love it. I'm curious, from each of you coming up there to speedrun now, do you think people should speedrun your game? We're going to start Wayne's World.
No.
Iceplug with the Incredible Hulk.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. We got Pepsi Man with Flying Marlin.
Absolutely, 100%.
All right, Asuka? Give
Of
me
course.
toilet paper.
Of course.
All right. I think Ritz is correct. The rest of you are liars, and you're just trying to bring people into the pain because misery loves company. We all know.
Maybe.
Well, thank you all so much for joining me. I wish we could talk even more, but you got to go get ready for those runs. You got to get some sleep. I think a little for some of you to get up for it the next day. But thank you all, and I'm very much looking forward to Silly Block. And be sure to tune in, everybody. Thanks for watching SG2Q 2023.
Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2023. I am the Kyle Thomas. We are getting ready to golf here in just a moment. Before that, we have $20 that came in from Stacks that says, I live for the silly, I lose sleep for the silly. Shout out to all my fellow silly gooses out there enjoying Silly Block tonight. Can't wait to see what's in store. Well, thank you so much for that donation. You don't have to wait any longer to see what's in store. We're going to take you over right now to Golf It from Nicole Goodnight and Bath and Jan.